What's up guys and welcome back to another episode of CNC. This is episode number 17. We're starting today's stuff with a look at the fixtures for November. As you can see, Exeter City in the Papa John's Trophy. Great. Bristol City, the league leaders at home. Blackpool away at Bloomfield Road. Oxford United at home. And also AFC Wimbledon as well. So some really big games in the league as well. You know, the Robins are right now top of the table. AFC Wimbledon, Blackpool, Oxford United, all around the playoffs right now as well. So some really big games there coming what is going to be a big month of November. Also a scouting update and an academy update and a bid for Jewett White, which we accepted as well. Picked up one player for our academy here, and as you can see, his name is Alan Bound. He's a sicko. He's into BDSM. Sorry, I couldn't resist when I saw the name. But Alan Bound, he's got some really good stats already, to be fair. 16 years old, only 56 overall, but 5-star skill moves, high and low work rates, not really dribbling. You know, 79 agility, 76 ball control, 71 for the dribbling, and 69 balance as well. He looks pretty decent and pretty nimble on his feet, I must admit. So we're given the post-development plan. If we can train the finishing up, which is quite low, and what I often find in youth strikers, I don't know if you guys are the same as me, but I often find that strikers that come out of the academy, for some reason, always have like really low finishing stat. I don't know why. If we train that up, we should get him 60 plus overall pretty quickly, and then we can find out what his potential is as well. Also, speaking of youth academy strikers, Alex Johnson, someone we put out of the academy last season, he's got a few minutes this season, scored a couple of goals as well, but unfortunately he wanted to leave. He submitted a transfer request. I think this is because during the end of last season he was asking for a new contract, and oftentimes, I'll admit it, when I'm simulating through, I don't check all the emails and I'll just miss a few or whatever. I think maybe that's when he asked for a new contract, as I was ending last season officially and simulating through to the new one, so that's why I didn't notice it. But to be fair, it might prove to be a blessing in disguise, because FC Ingolstadt 04, the German club, put in a bid for him and we negotiated £1 million. Now don't forget, whilst he's 63 overall and only 17 years old, he looks okay. He has no potential tag whatsoever. Now we've got the 5-star scout. I'm expecting us to find a better quality of youth player, including the BDSM freak Bound in our academy. So yeah, I think that's probably the right thing to do there. Just let him go. £1 million is a lot of money for Newport County. That'll be a record sale. So the £1 million man is probably off to Germany in January. I think that's probably the right thing to do. Anyway, for the first game of today's episode, Wizard lead Exeter City, Papa John's Trophy. Had to win this game to qualify for the knockout stages. But you saw by my team, fully rotated lineup, total change to our first 11. Because I said before, I don't take this competition seriously one bit. First of all, the board don't care about it, and secondly, there are just far too many games to play in League 1, in League 2. This is a really frustrating goal to concede though. How bad luck was that? First the shot is the post, then it deflects off my defender, and then Exeter turning a rebound. But yeah, I was totally fine losing this game, and totally fine going out. Whenever I go into these games, I don't throw them, I don't look to lose, if you will, because otherwise I just simulate the games, you know. But I do give it my all, don't get me wrong, but I don't mind too much if I lose. When you're fielding a weakened side, it's hardly surprised you're going to be up against it, especially at this low level of football, when the players you're using, some of which aren't even 60 overall. So lost the game of 3-1. Took the lead, to be fair, a nice goal too, but lost the game of 3-1. And again, I wasn't too fussed about it, because again, the Papa John's Trophy, it's just a competition we don't need. Our sole focus this year is gaining promotion to the Championship. Right now we're in 3rd place in League 1. Unlike in League 2, 3rd place where we finished doesn't give you automatic promotion. You need the top 2. So heading into this game, this was massive. Bristol City, the Robins, running away with it at the top of League 1 right now. Rodney Parade. And if we're to have any chance of catching up to them, this was a game we needed to win. Unfortunately, we were missing our star. Earlier on in the episode, you might have noticed it, Ben Davis going away on international duty. It's so frustrating when it happens. We can't avoid it, unfortunately. Unlike in FM, we can't withdraw the guy from the squad. So yeah, Ben Davis away. Question is, in the biggest game of the season, how do we get on without our biggest star? Well, we started to get on really well, actually. We took the lead, or I thought we took the lead 26 minutes in through Isaac Davis. Lovely through ball into our young forward. Denied not by the posts or the goalkeeper, but by the offside flag. Correct decision as well, as it was still 0-0. So I made a bright start to the game, not being fazed by the league leaders running away with it right now, but unfortunately 9 minutes before the break, I tell you, long shots have been toned down, and I do give EA credit for that. We talked about it a lot At the very start of FIFA, long shots were just so OP. They were just going in left, right and centre. They have been toned down. I appreciate EA changing that in the patch, but they do still get scored every now and then. Casey Palmer, the former Chelsea Youth Academy graduate, makes it 1-0 and the Robins take the lead. And it was so frustrating too, because a few minutes later we hit the bar. We were still down by a goal at the break. And it's one of those games where, like, I never like to, you know, be too kind to myself, if you will, in games where I'm losing, but I didn't feel like I deserved to be losing this game. I was playing some good football, I was creating good chances, I had a goal disallowed, I'd hit the woodwork, and we were still down by 1. Ruben Colwell tries his luck here and bends it just wide of Daniel Bentley's left post. Still trailing by 1 with 2 minutes to go. I was throwing a lot of bodies forward at this point, loads of amber shirts going forward. I was a bit light at the back, so after I surrendered possession, the Robins came on a very quick counter attack and Bell smacks it in and silences the crowd. Yeah, this was a really frustrating game, I'm not going to lie. Like, as I always say, I present the highlights packages very, very fairly indeed. In games I've got battered, I will show you I've been battered. I will show you just how badly I played. This was not one of those games, man. I thought I played really well in this one, and I felt as though I probably deserved at the very, very least, a point, but in the end, 2-0 the final score. And one of those games where, like, the quality kind of shines through of your opponents as well. Like, I always say there's no shame in being beaten by the best, and if you are right now, like, let's say in one of your CMs, you're like a mid-table side or just sneaking into the top half. As you see, Alex Johnson here is going to go for £1 million, so I'm very pleased with that sale there. When you get beaten by guys that are like running away with it at the top of the table, there's no shame in that. It's frustrating. As long as you put up a good fight, that's the most important thing. I certainly did there, but in the end it counted for absolutely nothing. 2-0 the final score. We've mentioned it though. I said at the very start of the season, the best 2 teams in the division, Bristol City and Hull City. Unsurprisingly, they're the top 2 right now, and looking likely that Bristol City are going to run away with it in League One this year. So for the third game of today's episode, aiming to respond on the back of back-to-back losses and no wins in our last 3. Blackpool away, Bloomfield Road. Well, fell behind very early on, and I was thinking, oh my goodness. In lower league football, if you go into a bad spell of form, you can go from where we were, 3rd place, to mid-table very quickly indeed. So we needed to respond, and we would. 28 minutes in, Ruben Colwell, who was having an amazing season, bends one in. Probably should have been kept out, but we don't mind. After the Bristol City game, I felt I deserved some luck. So back on level terms there. Some pretty poor goalkeeping, but hey, we'll take it as Colwell fires in our leveler. And then right before the break, playing some counter-attacking football, looking for the second. Davis rolls through Colwell once again. Lovely pressure to hold off his man, go through 1-on-1, but sadly missed the target as we were still tied at the break. But momentum totally changed. After Blackpool took the lead, I kind of woke up. You know, in the first 20 minutes, I wasn't really doing anything. But after I fell behind, I was like, okay, that's it. Like, like my mindset kind of just switched. I was like, okay, this isn't going to happen. I'm not going to lose 3 straight games. Absolutely not. So 4 minutes after the restart, we got ourselves deservedly in front. Colwell once again causing problems down the left, cuts one across, and there's Isaac Davis, one of our top scorers this year, to take the touch, bend it in, and give us the lead. So we flipped the script. We're in front of Bloomfield Road, 2-1 up, and then 22 minutes to go. I kind of just stayed in attack mode. One thing I've noticed in this year's FIFA is that, you know, at times, what a double save here by the way, at times my defending is just absolutely shambolic, and it's so hard to defend against the AI on Ultimate. So I feel as though for me, like, defending a 1-goal lead is never a good idea, because the chances are I won't be able to pull it off. So for me, having a 2-goal cushion is a huge luxury. I often say I never feel comfortable only leading by a goal. So yeah, heading into the late stages, still up by a goal, instead of just putting my foot on the ball, I went on a counter, and Colwell goes all the way coast to coast and smacks it in to make it 3-1. And these are class celebrations as well. Absolutely brilliant here. I've got to say, I've mentioned it many times before, but like, since the late goal celebrations were added into next gen consoles, I have mentioned before that at times they need to be a little bit more situation specific. At times, you know, you could be like, I don't know, top of the table, taking on a side in like 15th place, and you score like your 2nd goal in a game where you're absolutely dominated, and the crowd go ballistic and everyone's running, you know, towards the corner flag. At times it can be a little bit unrealistic, but when it's warranted, like in games like this, you know, we've had back-to-back defeats, no wins in our last 3, a little bit of a struggling patch of form for Newport County over the past few weeks. And we're taking on the side right now, heading into the game, we're just outside the playoffs. That's a huge moment there to go 3-1 up and surely wrap the points up. And it just looks really cool when it comes off and it's situation specific, you know. I mentioned before, for EA, I really feel like with FIFA CM, they need to focus a lot more on situations or ways to make the game feel more if not completely realistic, then immersive. You know, moments that immerse you in the game, and those are the moments there where it's justified. So yeah, 3-1 win. We're back to winning ways after a struggling patch of form for our fourth game of today's episode, fourth and penultimate one of today's episode. Oxford United. Heading into this game here, we got an injury early on for Taylor, and it was a really frustrating game as well. Very scrappy indeed. Nothing really going on. Had the chance to win it late on through that mount again. Ruben Colwill smacking it off the woodwork in what was eventually a goalless draw against the lads from the Kassam. I'll take that though. Not a bad result there. Point, I'll tell you, against Oxford United side, just below us in the table. We did get an injury though. We saw it during the game. Taylor down 4 weeks. This is a shame as well because he's grown to 70 overall. Physically, I really like his stats, and defensively too, at a high defensive work rate. He's really good. Don't forget, when we signed this guy, he was originally a central defensive midfielder. We transitioned him back to centre half, and he's a really key member of our defence. So yeah, I like him a lot. So him being out 4 weeks, bit of a shame there. But for our final game of today's episode away, not Kings Meadow anymore, but Plough Lane, AFC Wimbledon away from home. Great to see them get their own stadium now after all these years. But yeah, AFC Wimbledon away from home. Again, another side right now doing okay. Right now, sat in the top half and having a relatively decent season, but taking them on away from home. If we are to try and keep pace with Bristol City and Hull City as well in the top two, then we've got to target wins in these games. Draws simply won't do. So looking to get back to winning ways here on the back of the goalless draw against Oxford United. Had the first chance, great save, kept it at 0-0 with 21 minutes to go. Sam Pearson running through, smacking one off the woodwork, and AFC Wimbledon clearing. I've noticed lately I've been hitting the post a lot more than before. I don't know whether that's because of a patch. I don't know. My finishes now seem to hit the woodwork a lot, but still tied at 0-0. Facing the prospect of back-to-back goalless draws. I'll take back-to-back clean sheets, but really we needed the win, and with 4 minutes to go, we get it as well. Quick through ball, Collins is on the end of it and smacks it home to give us the late winning goal. And again, I love the late goal celebration next to it. It just looks so cool. They just look so cool. You see everyone running towards it. Our undefeated stretch continuing on the back of that Bristol City defeat. We've had a nice little unbeaten run there and a big victory. Our second in 3, back-to-back clean sheets as well, and that's exactly what we need. I mentioned before, our sole focus this year, promotion to the Championship. If we have to do it via the playoffs, fair enough, but I know that's going to be tricky indeed. So the most important thing for us is we keep close to Hull City. Look, Bristol City have run away with it. They've practically won it by Christmas. They're 14 points clear of Hull and 15 clear of us in third, but only 1 point behind the Tigers right now in the race for second place. It's been a pretty decent first half of the season. Now, where's this episode of Club and Country going, guys? Big thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, if you hadn't, please drop a like. Myself to you, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of C&C very soon.